So this is the basic setup. No fire because of the fire ban that they put on just before I came up here. Fire bans are really strict. They have aircraft in the sky and they have satellites, and there's a fine and even possible jail for violating the fire ban. So we take it very seriously. I don't see any need for it. It's rained solid for the past 2 days here. Everything is soaked in the bush, but they have a fire ban on because it's been so dry this spring, and the next few days are forecast to be dry. So anyway, I got my Trangia stove here. This is a base camp. I'm in a little hurry tonight, but it's a base camp, so I brought my Trangia because I'm not in a rush. I could have brought my other stove, my white gas stove with a pressurizing pump, but it makes a lot of noise. And I thought I'd take it nice and easy with the Trangia. Nothing to break, and it'll take longer, but it's dependable. Man, I miss having fire. I even set this up so I can face the fire rocks. Oh well. I'm gonna make dinner tonight really simple because it's late here. One of my meals is quite simple. It's dried baked beans and dried ground beef that's defatted at home. And in here are onions and dried black sliced olives. And I'll add some olive oil to it. Water's already boiled. I got the Trangia on simmer. I should have had this going right from cold water. I'm a little rusty here. First snow-free camp of the year. Because it'll be hydrating right from the get-go, even in cold water as it's warming up. Now I don't add the baked beans for a while. I'm going to let that go about 15 minutes or so on the simmer before I add the baked beans, because the baked beans are already cooked, of course. They're right out of the can, and they don't need as much time to rehydrate. I can add the olive oil right now. It's really important to not have any leaks in your cooking oil. It'll destroy the inside of your food pack. Sand will get on it. It'll contaminate your food. You don't want sand in your food. You can break your teeth. So I highly recommend Nalgene. This was a looped lid. I cut the loop off because I want to take the lid right off. And I'm going to have a drip rag here handy, which is also my dishcloth. And I just do this by eye here because I kind of know how much I need. But I'm going to make sure that I catch the drips before it drips down on the bottle. And the oil will be cleaned when I do the dishes tonight with some biodegradable soap. So there's no oil on the outside of that. There's no oil around the threads. And just for safety, in case there's a crack on the lid, I store it in a Ziploc to put in the food barrel, and I'll see if there's any leak if it happens. But it's never happened in my entire career. Nalgene's have never let me down. Now the one thing that's kind of awkward with the Trangia is adjusting the simmer ring. I put a piece of stainless wire there on the lid to help lift it out. And now it's very hot, and I gotta open it up a bit. Without burning myself. Oh, and my Trangia's out. The simmer ring was too small, I guess. Okay, that's open a fair bit now. Yeah, that's going, I can hear it. That's the one fussy thing about the Trangia, is getting the simmer ring opening just right. The one luxury I bring, because it's a canoe trip, is I bring a wash basin. I used to have a bigger one. Well, I still have a bigger one, but it does not fit in the small 30-liter barrel. So this is just a Tupperware thing. Extra weight, yeah, but is it ever nice for doing a hot, soapy wash and rinse of the dishes after. And it has other uses too. You can wash other things in it. We'll put the rag in there. Just going to adjust that a bit more. While this is simmering, I forgot to mention that I'm using a Clikstand. This is titanium, and it holds the Trangia quite nicely. It forms a little windbreak, but I put the extra windbreak around it. That makes a huge difference. Okay, that's been simmering nicely. A bit fiddly with the Trangia simmer ring, but so on the simmer, that should be about 10 minutes or so. I made this pot cozy a while back. I tried it on a trip. I didn't like it. I almost always cook with wood, where I have plenty of heat to simmer. Unless it's raining, then I use the stove. But this just became too fiddly. But I brought it on this trip to try it and to see how much I could economize on fuel. So I'm going to let the baked beans and ground beef finish off in the cozy, if I can get it in there. Whoops. There we go. This is the first cozy I made. It's not the best seal. So we'll let that sit. Then I'm going to take this off. There's still fuel left from the original fill, but I'm going to put that out. let that cool, and then refill it so I can heat up the big pot and have hot wash water and hot coffee after. Trangia cools amazingly fast. I love these old Nalgene fuel bottles with the removable spout. I don't think they make these anymore, but they're fantastic. They've never leaked on me. I use them for white gas and alcohol. It's too bad they don't make them anymore. Okay, I think we're ready. Unfortunately, it's a little soupy. I added too much water, but that's okay. Man, am I hungry. This is going to be good. Very hot. The cozy worked. Dinner was really good. Hit the spot. My second pot of water boiled. And we'll get some decaf coffee here. Yeah, I know decaf. Not very good, but I can't drink caffeinated coffee at night or I'll never get to sleep. It was so nice having two pots because you can get your hot water right away. I don't have to wash this out with cold water, freezing cold water in that lake, and then reboil water. These are titanium, and I'm willing to carry that extra weight penalty for the two pots every time, for sure. There's some mosquitoes out. I almost didn't bring bug dope. I thought third weekend in May with ice on this lake 2 weeks ago. But they're not bad. I'm not going to put bug dope on unless tomorrow they get really bad. There's just a couple here and there. It's going to be chilly tonight. I think the forecast said down to +2 or +1 Celsius. There could even be a frost, who knows, if they're wrong. I brought my 0 Celsius bag, and I have a toque, long johns, and I'll be fine, especially in the tent. Tent's a bubble of air heated by your body heat, and it's probably about 5 degrees Celsius warmer than outside. I've had this melamine mug since I was about 8 years old. So it's almost 50 years old. My mother bought this for me to put together a mess kit for camping with the Cub Scouts. So thanks, Mom. These melamine mugs, they're just excellent. They keep your drink warm, but they let enough heat come out to really warm your hands. There's no plasticky taste to any hot liquids. If the mic is picking it up, that peeping sound that you're hearing are the spring peepers. They're a species of small frog, and they spend most of their life up on the terrestrial side. Up on the dry land. They even will climb some vegetation. They're not true tree frogs, but they can climb. So they're calling right now because it's the spawning season. So those are male spring peepers calling for mates. And they'll look to spawn in preferably pools that don't have fish in them. Wood frogs do that as well. So spring ephemeral ponds that are that have enough water to last for the tadpoles to transform, and then those ponds often dry up. So they tend to avoid the lakes because the tadpoles just get annihilated by the fish. The spring peepers should be calling a bit more, but I think since the temperature is going down and it's cooling down, they're slowing down. We'll see tomorrow when it's warmer how loud they are. Man, I could use a fire right now. If you're just tuning into this video late, I mentioned earlier that there's a region-wide fire ban on. The Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry put a fire ban on a few days ago because it's been so dry this spring, and there's serious fines and even jail term for violating the fire ban. So that's why I have a stove instead of a nice glowing roaring fire. You know, it's amazing on paddling trips, even when it's cool, but especially when it's warm, how dehydrated you can get. And I've been drinking water from my water bottle that I brought with me, a 1 liter bottle, and I filled it up in the lake. When I get away from the shore, I do drink the lake water if the lakes are clear, and this one is clear. It's tea stained. I'll show you the color of the water tomorrow in my, I brought a a gravity filter bag, because the water really close here is a bit, it's kind of swampy here. It's not it's not as clean, shall we say, out in the middle of the lake where you can dip from your canoe and get water without any sediment or shoreline critters that are contaminating the water. So where was I there? Dehydrated, yeah. So I've been drinking water all day, and I think I'm going to have another mug of hot coffee after this. It's just amazing how much one needs to stay hydrated. And there's no better way at the end of the day than with hot beverages.